Hey everybody, Gabriel Gregson here. Tonight I have some news, very exciting news that I have been keeping from you guys for a while because I wanted it to be a surprise. This coming Monday, am starting college. Yes, this will be my first semester in a college setting. I did try and take one class before when I was back at the Illinois School for the Visually Impaired. However, I ended up failing that class just because I wasn't ready for college yet at the point. But I am now, and I'm ready to dive in head first. I am going to attend Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. So here in Madison County, still going to be in Madison County, still going to be the same old place for weather radio stuff and whatever. Will this change anything on the channel? Maybe sometimes, but it shouldn't change too much with the channel. I am going to try and keep this channel active and busy uploading because I have fun doing these videos, and quite honestly, it's a stress reliever for me. Not to mention, I have made so many wonderful friends through YouTube that I don't want to stop. So, yeah, that's my news. I am starting college this coming Monday. I move in to my apartment on Saturday. I am living on campus. I have 3 suite mates, not roommates, but suite mates. Basically, for those who don't know college lingo, that simply means that they live in the same apartment as me, but I get a private bedroom. So, yippee. I will bring one of my weather radios with me. Most likely, it'll be the 120 WR120. That's my most reliable weather radio that I've found to date. It's served me for, I've had my 120 now that I currently have since 2023, I believe, and I've used it almost every day since. So that will be my radio that I bring with me. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to comment on this video or send me a message on Discord, Facebook, text, wherever you know you can get a hold of me. In terms of what classes I am taking Fundamentals of Psychology, which is a social science course that is required for Gen Ed. You have to have a social science. I am taking Introduction to Music History. One, because I have to have a fine arts class in my Gen Ed, my general education. And 2, I love music in general, and when I saw that, I was like, yes, let's do this. And I am also taking elementary math education. So basically, because I'm wanting to become a special education teacher. So basically, this would be how to teach math to elementary students. And if you're wondering, what elementary math would be, it'd be basically number sense, like basically what numbers are, all the way up to the beginning stages, like the very, very early stages of x equals blank times blank x or whatever, like the very, very beginning stages of that. You don't really get past that most times with elementary math education. So, and that's what the college advisor told me. Anyway, and then they have an orientation course for SIUE for freshmen. They have a 6 seating at SIUE, which is Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. And then they also have, for my 5th class, I'm going to be taking, Introduction to Special Education and People with Disabilities in Society. And since I am becoming a special education teacher, this class is focused on my major. Basically, from what I gathered from the description of the class, it's going to talk about how disability is perceived in society, look at some of the stigmas surrounding disability in society, how to deal with certain stigmas from disability in society. So honestly, this class may not only be useful for my major, but this thing might be a little useful for me and build some confidence in me. So that has been the big news of the week. If you're wondering how fast this all came to be, I started my process for applying for the university on December 11th. I decided that day that I was going to college. It all stemmed from some family drama. I won't get into exactly what happened with the family drama, but I will say, long story short, I did something and said something that was very hurtful and caused my mom to not talk to me for 2 days, almost three. And during that time that she didn't talk to me, I started reflecting on myself and realizing, am I going to get anywhere by not going to college? You know, as a blind person? Not really. I've tried other options and they haven't worked for me. So it's like, I don't want to do college. I don't want to be in school anymore, but I've had a bit of a break. I've been home since August and I haven't really liked staying at home and being at home and stuck at home, not doing anything, isolated, not able to make friends, etc., etc. So, you know, let's give this a shot. And I have several friends who are also blind who attended this university. I'm not going to say names, but yeah, I have several friends that are blind that attend this university as well. So I have quite the support system. And so I applied that night on December 11th. Applications for the spring semester were due on the 12th, so I didn't think I was going to get in for the spring semester. They were due on December 12th, but I got mine in by the 11th. Got my transcripts all sent in the next day. Called my district, and then they sent the transcripts over to me like right away, and I sent them up to the state because I'm getting help from what we call DRS or DOORS in Illinois, but it's sponsored by the Department of Health and Human Services, and it's also part of the Bureau of Blind Services. Basically, yeah, Bureau of Blind Services. And that is basically going to cover any fees that the federal financial aid does not cover. So think meal plans, housing, that type of thing. Any type of fee that isn't covered under FAFSA, which is the federal financial aid program. So that is where we sit. And I found out that I was accepted actually right after Christmas, I believe. It was right before the New Year's. It was literally just a few days before New Year's Eve. So that was probably the greatest Christmas present I ever had. And then after finding out that I was accepted, I met with an advisor this past Tuesday. Today's Thursday. So 2 days ago now, I met with an advisor on registering for classes, and they helped me to register for all the classes that I have mentioned. And then after that, I met with the services coordinator for blind and visually impaired services and accommodations at the university. It's cool that they actually have such a thing. Most universities don't. A lot of universities don't have that, but SIUE, they're ahead of the game. So, she was very kind, very nice. Everyone was very nice and very kind to me. I felt very welcomed at that place. And then Tuesday, after meeting with the supervisor and the disability person for visually impaired, I went over to the housing office and talked about applying for housing. They directed me to fill out my application online. I filled that out literally Tuesday night and got that submitted. Found out yesterday, Wednesday evening, that I was accepted for housing. So that was crazy. I was not expecting to get in that quick. All of my friends who live there say I got in probably the quickest they've ever seen. So that was crazy. And then yesterday evening we ordered some things for, myself at this experience. For example, I had a portable record player when I was down in Arkansas, as well as up at the School for the Blind in Jacksonville, Illinois. And that, unfortunately, decided to fizzle out and bite the dust. I mean, makes sense. It was a, cheap $60 suitcase player. Not the best quality, of course, but it made it, it did what it was supposed to do. I'd had it since 2022, so, you know, no big deal. I mean, it makes sense that it would, kind of on itself eventually. Well, we ordered myself another one. We did that yesterday evening. That should be here by Friday. We ordered myself some shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve. And then today we were out and my parents were shopping for me, helping me by shopping for college supplies, dorm supplies, and then hygiene stuff and stuff that I'll need for my room and whatever. So, yeah, I cannot wait until Saturday. I will definitely give you guys a tour of my bedroom when I get there. And, who knows? I might even give you guys a tour of the little apartment that I'm in, too. I don't know. But anyway, as I said before, if you have any further questions, please reach out to me. Questions or comments, just please reach out to me. I'm always open. I'm always reading your guys' comments, even if I don't always respond. I do read them. I do read your messages. So yeah, that is my big news. And again, to summarize, it won't really affect the channel. Really, the only thing that might happen is I might be not as active on YouTube, posting as much, but that would be the biggest change I think we could expect. And even then, I think I could still manage to work in stuff where we could see, at least, I don't want to say a number, but regular uploads from me. As far as I'm concerned, that is all I have to say. Besides, I think I've done enough rambling in this video. Ha ha ha. And I will see you all next time. Gabriel Gregson for Southwestern Illinois EAS, signing off for now.